It's a beautiful early spring morning in the woods west of Nashville, and behind me you can see the spectacular view of thousands of hellebores, and that's what we're going to talk about today. This is really a cool place, and you are going to love what you're seeing. I'm here today with Joe Woodard, who is a hellebore breeder and grower, obviously, and is actually known worldwide for the hellebores that he breeds and brings into the world. And Joe, thank you so much for having us here today. It's terrific.
Thanks for coming.
There are a lot of hellebores available now, but that wasn't always the case. I mean, hellebores have been around for a long time. You people may have grown Lenten roses in the past, but Lenten roses are, and they're still around, yes.
Oh, yes.
But,
I mean, that's the common name for much of what we see here.
Yes. But in the old days, they were just a cross of 2 or 3 species, maybe?
For the most part. And then what happened is they take those hybrids and start hybridizing with hybrids and hybridizing with hybrids.
So it gets more and more complicated, the genealogy. A lot of people had hellebores that made tons of babies down on the ground or every year around the plant. Now in modern days, often you see hellebores that don't make babies.
Yeah, and it's a huge genus with lots of species, and so some of them you can cross and make babies, and then those babies may not be fertile.
Okay, it's like a mule. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, okay, so basically you can cross them, but you can't make babies with them. So if you have hellebores in your yard and you're not getting any babies, that's why. Let's just walk and look at some of these gorgeous plants and talk about what you're going for with the breeding and what modern breeding has done. For example, in here, I'm seeing beautiful double. Look at that.
Yeah, those are called doubles because there's an extra row or multiple rows of what people would think of as petals. And so people love those.
I can see why. I'm also seeing the old school hellebores hung their heads, so to speak. You know, I mean, it's a delightful habit, that nodding flower habit. And I'm seeing it a lot here, but I'm also seeing some that are more upright, like this white. It's holding its head up straight at you, its flower.
Yes, I mean, part of the intimate thing is you reach down and you lift up, but on the other hand, we want to see the flower. And so to breed for more out-facing flowers is one of the goals of a lot of people, and I also select for that trait.
I can understand that very well. And the variety of colors is amazing. And not only just colors, but patterns. But you've got some that are near black.
Yeah, they come in almost every color imaginable. Now, some of the colors are not what you might call true. It's hard to create a pure red, for example.
Right, they're sort of rosy, pinkish.
Exactly,
yeah.
The pigment is like a magenta.
Yeah.
And so, but otherwise, it's virtually every color you can imagine: white, yellow, green, you know, violet, purple, almost black, as you said.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and as you said, yellow, which is something that's a kind of a recent development, am I right?
Yeah, the most yellow you can get has been created actually by a mutation.
Oh.
And then you select and breed with those plants, and you can get it in other colors, such as I have whites that turn yellow, and I have pinks that turn yellow.
So, I'm just loving, and not only do you have different colors, but you have patterns, like this picotee, where you have the little rim of color around the outside edge of every petal.
Oh, exactly. I love the patterns.
I do
Sometimes there's
too.
a central sort of star or a red center.
Oh, yeah, that's...
It's fun. You lift them up and see what's in there.
Isn't that just adorable? I notice a lot of variance in the flower size too. I mean, some of them are quite large, and some of them are very diminutive, like this little green guy with his pattern in the middle of the petals, like a little spotty pattern.
Absolutely, and that is actually a hybrid, but it's first generation from a wild plant, and they're very, very small. And this is actually larger than the parent size,
Wow.
which is probably somewhere a little bit between a quarter and a nickel.
Oh my gosh. So these have truly been bred up from what you'd find in the wild. Of course, most of these are being hybrids, that makes sense, but I notice a lot of variation in the way the foliage appears also. Some of it's kind of palmate, some of it's highly divided.
For example, here is a typical leaf form.
That's what you're used to.
If you look at the divisions, they're kind of broad.
Yeah.
Here's more divisions.
Oh, and that one's splitting. It's like bifurcate or trifurcate.
And
Yeah.
then this one is the other extreme.
Look at that.
So you can see just in these 3 spots, the broadleaf, the intermediate, and the very finely divided leaf form.
Oh, wow. So you can find different colors of hellebores with these different leaf forms.
You can. In the wild, the leaf forms are, the divided leaf forms are all green or purple, but through hybridization, you can create any color.
Wow. It's just beautiful. I love the pure whites too. They're just so gorgeous. And this one, oh, the little nectaries, the little chartreusey ones in there. That's that little rim right around here. The bees visit those. That's beautiful. This one has a nice low habit too. It's lower than a lot of them. Joe, this is a really interesting collection, and I know these are all your creations, all your breeding here. Tell me about this group.
Well, one thing you can see is there's a great variety in size. They're actually all the same age, and so you can see a dramatic difference in growth
so
rate.
This one is the same age as this one.
Exactly. And you can see a tremendous difference.
Yeah, no doubt.
The other difference is this one has pristine leaves in the winter. The leaves actually are produced in fall on this plant and spring. So it produces 2 sets of leaves. In the one below it, you see there's no leaves present. That's because I cut off the old foliage from last spring.
One of the only knocks against hellebore traditional Lenten roses is that the end of the winter, the old foliage looks really tatty, and before it pushes out the new stuff, and so you tend to cut that off as it's putting the flowers up. But you're saying this is what made it through the winter.
Absolutely, and it looks perfect.
No doubt.
So I think that's an interesting feature, and it's one that I've bred for. It only comes from one species from southern Italy, and so I've used that one extensively to create these beautiful winter leaves.
I would say
and then
that's
the
a big
flower
advance.
stalks actually push up through the leaves, which creates kind of a dramatic effect.
And they're nicely above the leaf canopy, so they really show.
Yes.
Yeah, they're well presented. This is beautiful. Do you have it in, oh, look at that. You can see it's just starting to set seed. Those are little seed pods forming. That's pretty amazing. Does it come in a variety of colors, or is it mostly?
Yes, I have many colors with this trait. I tend to focus on the pastel and lighter colors because the species itself is green.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't want to introduce that red to the green.
Right, because that would,
It creates brown.
Mud. Yeah. Yeah, it makes a brown
Not
flower.
always, but sometimes.
Yeah. But so, now this doesn't have that breeding, is that what you're saying?
It actually does.
Okay, but
It's
this is a
just-
younger one.
It's the same age.
Same age, okay.
That particular plant was grown in intense competition.
Oh.
And so it's a little bit stunted.
He didn't have the same, but I can see that. Look at that beautiful flower.
So you can see that color.
Yes.
It also has a green ancestor, which is kind of odd.
Oh, and you were talking about the stars in the middle. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
And also very out-facing, as we
Yes, it is. It presents itself really in a great way. And this flower form, oh, with that ruffle, what is that, anemone form? Is that what they call
Some
it?
people call it anemone form. Most people, including me, call it a semi-double.
Semi-double, okay. So it's like little petaloids, like the nectaries have gotten
Exactly.
confused.
It no longer produces nectar.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it creates a beautiful little ruffly thing inside.
Wow, it does indeed. It looks like a Elizabethan collar or something. That's really amazing. So you're saying you can get on a 3rd-year plant, how fast before they bloom? I mean, in terms of, you grow them all from seed, I know. So,
I can get them 1 to 3 years,
Wow.
but most of them 2 to 3 years. We're looking at 3rd-year plants here.
This is a 3-year-old plant.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, as is that, but that's huge for a 3-year-old plant.
It is, and this one here, the yellows with that kind of gold gene, they're notorious for being slow.
Yeah.
But that's a very vigorous plant
No,
to have that gene.
Yeah, that looks great. Joe, I can't leave without talking about what I can only think of as your goth hellebores. Look at these things. They're almost black. They're such a dark, dusky color.
They are, and you know, they're best appreciated up close. You can't see them as well as something like a white from far away.
Right, they have
but
no
they're
carrying
absolutely
power.
unique, I think. I mean, not many flowers have that color.
No, it's a definitely somber, but so striking. And what I also like is the foliage also has this deep, deep somber green color to it.
It does. When it first comes out, some of them are also dark like the flowers, and then as it ages, it turns to green so the plant can create energy for itself.
Well, those are pretty spectacular, and I know what you mean. It wouldn't have any carrying power from across the yard. It would just disappear into the background. But up close by a step or a doorway, wow, what a spectacular plant.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, Joe, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions about your fascinating plants. How can they get in touch with you?
Well, you can go to helleboreplants.com, and on the page at the bottom there's a contact form that you can fill out, and it will shoot me an email.
Oh, cool. Excellent. That's great news. Well, I just want to thank you so much for having us out here today. It's just been such a treat.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, sure. My pleasure.
Always good to see you.
Great to see you, too.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.